goals away. We were not really under pressure there. You can shoot the ball in the stands. You just gave it away in these moments. So apart from that, if that game tonight ends 1-1, it's good as well. They didn't, we know that, but the performance was good enough to at least to draw. Yeah, and then that's it. So we just have to carry on. We will do that.
Well, Phil, we know the City ethos is one game at a time, but winning here, does it mean just that little bit more?
Definitely, we've struggled in the past to win it. I think we've not won for ages here, so to win today shows how much we've improved as a team. And I think from the keeper to the striker, you can see everyone's playing with belief and courage, and you can see this today that every single player played brilliant and worked for each other. What in particular impressed you and pleased you today?
The commitment, everyone, the guys for the stands, help the people in front and run as an animals. We know we'll suffer. Hopefully next time, today Manchester City break for many years. We're not able to win here. Hopefully next time we can do it with Anfield and his people. So of course Anfield is so intimidating, but without people it's completely different.
Indeed, and we'll get to that. But it was a really impressive City performance, particularly in the second half. And you felt like they're coming, they're creeping up. But this is a really impressive stat. They now equal top-flight teams in all competitions as a longest winning run of 14 matches. I don't think any of us really saw that stat kind of coming up on us today.
No, we didn't. I think the period in the season when City were kind of languishing around kind of 6th and 7th, we were thinking, what's going on with Pep and his side? Have they still got that togetherness? They had a couple of performances that you can think of that just didn't feel like City for large periods of time. And gradually, they just obviously stick to what they're good at. They've got better and better. That's 10 consecutive wins now in the Premier League. And they look unstoppable to me now. I mean, I can't see anybody stopping them in this type of form. That's without their best players.
Have you just written the title race off there?
Well, they're playing like this without Aguero, no De Bruyne. I mean, Gabriel Jesus didn't even feature really for large parts of the season this year. It's incredible what they've done.
Raheem Sterling, not just his goal, but his overall performance impressed you today. His first goal, of course, at Anfield since he left. I'm sure he would have liked a crowd there.
I thought he was brilliant today. It was very, very tight in that first half, but I thought he was the one that could unlock the door, and that's exactly what happened with the penalty situation. He was incredibly positive every time he got the ball, because there was no direct forward there or someone to have to be that target man or to run in behind. So he had to be positive when he got his chance 1v1. He went at Trent Alexander-Arnold, and great piece of skill goes past him. This is when he gets the penalty for his team. Second half, that didn't really change. You can see there's not really the options for him. This time, he takes the easy route and he comes back and he gives the ball to Gundogan, but he was a constant threat and he gave Trent a really tough time. Goes inside again, goes at players, the little jink into Foden, very good save. Gundogan makes up for his missed penalty. That's what I want about. Look, there's not that option. The only option he's got is to be positive, to do that. Again, he goes inside. Look, he's attracting 3 or 4 players in and around him. It's the final ball or final pass that lets him down. Same thing again. Gets the little bit of luck, but he's getting in behind Trent again. Left foot crossing. This time they get their effort away at goal. And the last one there, it's his work rate, albeit another mistake from the goalkeeper. Had a terrible afternoon, but he gets his goal that I think his performance deserved. It could have been Zinchenko, it could have been Stones, and JJ now is going to look at Foden. There were some very, very good performances in there.
His 100th goal under Pep Guardiola. He's got quite good company there, hasn't he? The other
It's not bad company,
who've scored over a ton.
To be amongst them, and he hasn't quite hit the numbers that he's had in previous seasons, albeit he's still got 11 goals, 8 in the Premier League.
No City player has really kind of stood out all season, have they, at all? There's not one player they've heavily relied on, but Phil Foden today in the second half particularly really kind of shone, didn't he? He was exquisite at times.
He's just, I love this guy. He's just majestic today, he really was. He played as a false 9 today as well. He's played on the left for Pep, he's played on the right, he's played in midfield. That's all because he's so intelligent. Little bits of play like this and awareness about his game, checks around his shoulder. He knows that he's got time and space. They've not wanted to go in there and press him. That's important when you're playing that role, just to not keep bouncing that ball back. The ability to turn and find your players. Little bits like this when you're under a bit of pressure. Just tidy and real neat play. Love this one because he gives it away, but look at the reaction. He's straight on his front foot and he wants to have an impact. He wants to make something happen. He's constantly being aware. And look at the quick feet here. Touch, bang. It's like his feet are so quick, and the amount of touches that he has on the ball is remarkable. Spoke about intelligence. He knows Raheem. He needs to buy Raheem some time here to get into the box. He bought him that time. You know, to be fair, Raheem Sterling probably should have got on the end of that. He's inches away. It's an absolute perfect cross, and he already got his first assist with the one that he hit off Alisson. Here he is, twinkle toes. There's your second assist. Nobody can get anywhere near him. And this one I love because it's a bit like, you know what, you can't stop me. I'm just that confident. I'm that good. Deal with that. And it was, you know, it was a remarkable display from a young man. I'd go as far to say probably his biggest display in a City shirt, given the kind of the moment and obviously, you know, the team it is up against. And I put this in just, you know, the maturity of the lad. 92nd minute, the 4-1 up, and he's still working his socks off and even gets a pat on the back.
I think there were one or two
opposing manager
raised eyebrows when I mentioned Scholes and Gascoigne, two greats of English football, a couple of weeks ago. He is a special talent.
Yeah.
That's brilliant.
There he was.
What do you think he's thinking? I better touch than you.
One day.
Whatever it is, I'm not sure what the score was at that point. He doesn't look that impressed,
No,
does he, at that
doesn't at
particular
all.
moment. Let's have a little moment on Liverpool, though, because Jurgen Klopp there, you can see, impressed with Phil Foden. I'm not sure where his mind was when he said he felt that they could have equalised, they could have drawn that game today, because actually Man City really did go up the gears, didn't they? And Liverpool have been dropping off and off, 27 points away from where they were at this stage last season. We've talked about, obviously, Virgil van Dijk over the weeks and months and being away, but the crowd not being there at Anfield is clearly a factor. It's a factor for every club, but this is really interesting. They are the top dogs, if you like, in terms of losing points from a pre-lockdown position to now. A whole points difference per game, which is, you know, that's incredible, isn't it?
There are so many factors, I think, with the Liverpool one. Obviously, you know, that place is, Anfield is just sacred. You know, I mean, Al, you said yourself that, you know, you've been in that ground when they beat Barcelona, and it's probably the most special kind of atmosphere you've been involved in. And Van Dijk not being there, the heights that they hit last year as well was always going to be difficult for them to maintain. But it's definitely a factor. I mean, today, I'm not sure that those comments really make sense to me. I think they were quite fortunate to even get themselves back in the game with a penalty. Obviously understand, you know, the Alisson mistakes are not usually, you know, mistakes that Jurgen Klopp's used to seeing. Yeah,
I get that, and also their creativity today. I mean, they had one chance in the first half with the Mane header. They were gifted the goal they got in the second half. Other than that, no, I think Man City were worthy winners in the second half. There wasn't a lot in the first half, but second half, once Pep had slightly changed it to a 4-4-2 at times, Man City were much the better team.
And what about that psychological impact of going all that time having never lost at home, and then you lose 3 on the bounce at home, and you've got to go kind of back to the 60s to find a championship winning side who've done that the following season as a player?
Well, they're human. They're players who also suffer crisis in confidence, and there's one or two are doing that. Jermaine's also mentioned they've lost their most influential player. They've lost their crowd, and you can imagine today the crowd when Man City missed that penalty, when Liverpool get the equaliser, that place would have been rocking. So yeah, they've missed that. There's no doubt about it.
We've heard Jermaine's thoughts on the title race. Over for him. What about you?
Yeah, I would agree with that. Yeah.
Okay.
Often I agree with him, but yeah.
Okay, good night, everybody.
On
See you next time.
maybe, yeah.
OK, let's move on. Chelsea are unbeaten in Thomas Tuchel's 3 games in charge and are yet to concede a goal. They travel to Sheffield